こんにちは. Welcome to Katakana Japanese. I'm Mei. In this video, I'm gonna talk about Japanese long vowels. Katakana Japanese. Japanese long vowels? What's the big deal? They're just elongated vowel sounds like a, I, u, e, o, right? Nothing's complicated. Well, that's true, but this topic, Japanese long vowels, gets complicated when Japanese rhythm and the spelling rules are involved. First, let's talk about the Japanese long vowels and the rhythm of the Japanese language. In Japanese, each kana takes the same amount of time to pronounce. For example, Nihongo. Let's say each kana takes one beat to pronounce. Then the word Nihongo takes 4 beats to pronounce. Ni, ho, go. This rule applies to the long vowels as well. For example, Osaka. This word also takes 4 beats to pronounce. Osaka. Since this is a long vowel, we don't pronounce it separately from a kana before it. But the thing I mentioned still holds the truth. Each kana takes the same amount of time to pronounce. You elongate a vowel by 1 beat, so you pronounce these 2 kanas twice as long as sa or ka. Osaka. The words with Japanese long vowels are frequently mispronounced by Japanese learners. They tend not to elongate the long vowels enough, or they just completely skip them. Let's try some words with the long vowels. Pay attention to how each kana, including long vowels, is pronounced with equal length. Repeat with me. お母さん、お母さん、お母さん、お母さん、おじいさん、おじいさん。If you skip the long vowel of this word, the meaning of the word totally changes. おじさん、おじさん、おじいさん、おじいさん。9、9、9、9。時計、時計、時計、時計。東京、東京、東京、東京。Secondly, the spelling rules of the Japanese long vowels. Let's do the easy one first. Expressing the long vowel sounds in katakana is pretty simple. It's just a horizontal line. Whether it's the a or e or u or e or o, it doesn't matter. Every long vowel is expressed by the horizontal line in katakana. For example, how do you pronounce this word? This is pronounced keki. Since ke is pronounced with the k consonant plus the e vowel. So you know this line is pronounced by elongating the e vowel of ke. Let's try some words with the long vowels in katakana. Repeat with me. Computer, 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 computer. Keyboard, キーボード、キーボード、キーボード。YouTube、YouTube、YouTube、YouTube。マレーシア、マレーシア、マレーシア、マレーシア。ニューヨーク、ニューヨーク、ニューヨーク、ニューヨーク。Next, the spelling rule of the Japanese long vowels in Romaji. I personally don't think it's a good idea to rely on Romaji, so I'm gonna explain it real quick. In Romaji, the long vowel sounds are expressed by a line above a character, like this. Finally, the spelling rule of the Japanese long vowels in Hiragana. This one is complicated since the spelling rule isn't perfect. The a, I, and u long vowels are pretty straightforward. These long vowel sounds are represented by a, I, u, respectively. For example, おばあさん. The a long vowel is represented by a. おばあさん. おじいさん. The I long vowel is represented by I. おじいさん. 数字. The U long vowel is represented by U. 数字. E and O long vowels are a little tricky. E long vowel sound is represented by I. For example, 映画. As I said, the E long vowel is represented by I. 映画. 先生. 先生. 時計. 時計. What's tricky about the E long vowel is that this spelling is not official. Officially, E long vowel is represented by E. For example, お姉さん. In this word, the E long vowel is represented by E. お姉さん. But there are a lot more words with the E long vowel represented by I, like these words. So it's safe to say the words with the E long vowel represented by the E hiragana character are the exceptions. O long vowel is also tricky. The O long vowel is usually represented by U. For example, 高校. As I said, the O long vowel is represented by U. 高校. 掃除. 掃除. 東京. 東京. The O long vowel is also represented by O as an exception. For example, 大きい. 大きい. 氷. 氷. 狼. 狼. As you may already know, there are a lot of exceptions to the spelling rules of the long vowel sounds in hiragana. Other than the exceptions I mentioned, there are these words that are not pronounced with the long vowels. You may think these words are pronounced with the long vowels like me or to, but no, these are pronounced mei and to. You enunciate the vowels in these words. You just have to memorize these exceptions. As I said, the spelling rule in hiragana is not perfect. But whether it's an exception or not, If it's a frequently used word, you'll memorize it with no effort. So don't worry about the spelling rule too much. Alright, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. And if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. じゃあねー。